Oh yeah. It's about to get old school. Morning, folks. Or whatever the time of day it is for you. I got in at 1:30 last night and I didn't get to bed until 2:30. So kind of tired right now, and it's just now 8 o'clock and I've been outside for like an hour already. Last night I met with one of my landlords. He's gonna have me put in a food plot of beans with my planter and this tractor. So I'm kind of excited to plant into a cover crop like he's got out there on his food plot. And I think I'm gonna take you guys along with me. Planter in question here is a John Deere 7000 6-row. This planter has a top drive kit on it from Jamison. I've got a CompuTrack 150 monitor up there on the tractor, Kinsey bean meters, the whole 9 yards. I still need to switch one row unit over from corn to beans, and that's pretty simple. All you have to do is take these two wing nuts off and swap the meters, and that's it. Okay, she's switched over. Now all I have to do is put seed in it, and we can go plant. I have these 6 pretty much useless insecticide boxes, but they do make pretty good storage for your corn meters, your bean meters, and your graphite. Before we go planting anything, though, we need to fill that up with Pivot Bio so you can get started planting for real. Gotta say goodbye to my puppy, though. Here we go. Dad and I got to where his tractor and planter are parked, and I'm gonna get all the Pivot Bio ready to go into the tank that's on the front of the planter. Dad says that this stuff really isn't so bad. It's just one more thing you got to do in the morning. The only thing I'll say about it is they made it inside of a bag, inside of a box, inside of a box. I guess that's really no worse than diesel exhaust fluid being a jug inside of a box. Save the earth. Getting her done. Meanwhile, I'm over here doing some fixing and stuff here with this marker thing. This bracket had slid forward or backwards and it wasn't lined up, and the U-bolts for this piece decided to disappear. It was just riding around on this cable, and that's not really very good. So we robbed one U-bolt from the other side. So there's still one U-bolt over there, but now we're gonna put this one right here and it's gonna work perfect. I shouldn't say it'll work perfect, it'll work good enough. I came over here to where we got the other U-bolt from. I had a suspicion that maybe the U-bolts were loose and that's why they fell off. And I put my wrench on, gave it a turn, and it wasn't very tight. So that probably had something to do with them disappearing. Are we gonna get to plant before 11 o'clock today? Possibly. I didn't know how much actually went into planting since all I've done is like dirt work or tillage. There's a lot more startup and inputs with planting than there is with tillage. That John Deere 4020, the best tractor ever made. Not actually though, the best tractor John Deere ever made is the 4320 and the 7810 in that order. Also throw in the 8430 and the 9430 in there as well because both of those tractors are perfect. Ah, yikes, a tick. Folding. Dad's gonna take this rig down to where I worked ground last night and get that replanted. I've got my planter full of seed now, and I just need to change my population here from about 20,000 to 30,000. Then with my Kinsey bean meters, you take that times 5, and that gives you your field population for beans. And with that, we are ready to go. Let's go plant some beans. I finally got to where I'm going to be planting beans today. You may notice that there's a bunch of oil on my shirt and all over myself and the tractor. That would be because somebody, probably me, forgot to screw on the dipstick, and this fitting here had popped out and it came uncrimped, and it wasn't leaking oil, but it would drip every now and then, and it just never ends. Hopefully I can be out of here by 2 o'clock. Got to get my planter ready to go. I got to take the transport block out of it, and then I need to plant this no-till, and then there's some regular ground over there that I'm going to plant as well. All right, let's do this. I came this far, I am not going to stop. We're planting green. And now I know why my dad doesn't like cover crops. That would be why. Because they drag up and they make it kind of a pain. Oh man. But we're planting and no more oil is coming out of the tractor, so great. I'm almost done with this piece, and the spots where there are no peas at, it plants just fine. Like right here, not a problem. But up there, it's really, really heavy and I can't even see my mark. And this had been sprayed with a four-wheeler sprayer. So there's a lot of tire tracks out here that are not from the planter or the marker. So it makes it difficult to judge where you're even supposed to go. All right, that is done finally. Now I just have to get off and get all the stuff off of my planter. I decided while I'm back here, I should plant my landlord's backyard that he's letting me farm this year. It's better than Dad having to come back here with his planter and do it. And row 3 is actually planting, that's a lie. This is a big time operation right here. Kind of, not really. It's a fun operation. I really can't see my mark out here since there's no fresh dirt to see. Maybe this is why Dad likes to run something over it before he plants, is that he can actually see where he's going. Let's go home. I'm ready to get back in a real tractor. But this was really fun. And for anyone wondering, yes, we have in fact started planting beans. We started planting beans today with this. I'm kind of glad that's over, but I also kind of want to go do it more. It's the duality of man. The March beans are looking quite nice, except for the weeds. Just ignore those, but the rest of it looks good. I got back down here to the bottoms with the Diamond Harrow again. This is my tool of choice for the river bottom. My guy, J-Dog, he likes country music, which is fine, except he changed every single preset that I had on the radio in this thing to a country station. J-Dog, you can't do that. This is a nice 80-something acre field, and I'm gonna be able to get this knocked out pretty quick. So this will be the first, non-already planted ground I've been over in a week. The only bad thing I have to say about this tillage tool is that it makes a lot of dust. After our little bout there with the 4320, it feels good to be in a tractor with an air-conditioned cab and a radio again. That's not saying that I didn't enjoy my time on the 4320 today. It's just different, and it really makes you appreciate having nice new equipment like this to run. There's actually a ditch somewhere in this grassy area, and this is as close as we've been able to farm to it in recent memory, at least the time I've been around and been farming. So the Mississippi River is actually right there. So sometimes we get this stuff called seep water that comes up out of the ground when the river gets high. So there's places, such as this ditch, that are never actually quote-unquote dry. I just finished the end rows on this piece, and we're gonna fold up and go do some more. I've got $20 in my pocket. And now we pick up the front, and we're good to go to the next field. Also, one more thing. People that are driving cars on a road where they can see farm vehicles like a half-mile away, please just pull off on the side of the road. It'll save us both time, and you won't have to flip me off and wonder why this dumb farmer is taking up most of the road. The answer to the question, why is this farmer taking up most of the road, is because there's a ditch right over here that's like 5 feet deep, and I know how it ends when a farmer goes off the road to save someone's life who's not yielding, and it ends with me and this tractor and a telephone pole on top of it. Ask me how I know. If you want to know the whole story behind that little spiel, there's a video about it. It's called I Had a Tractor Accident. It's back in November. I feel very strongly about farm safety now, given that I very well could have flipped a tractor over and I could have killed somebody, but I made the right decision, fortunately, and I'm a better operator now because of it. Back to the fun stuff. Turning around next to the bay is kind of interesting, and it is very difficult to see much of anything right now just because of how dusty this tool is. I pulled into this field at 7:13 and it is 8:26 now. Not a bad time. We're gonna fold up and go do another one so the Dad has a lot to plant tomorrow morning, and so I can get a head start on the 415-ish acres that I have to work tomorrow. So tomorrow's gonna be a pretty long day. I don't have many gripes about this Kelly Diamond Harrow, but the length of time that it takes to fold this thing up is probably one of them. Other than that, this Diamond Harrow, this thing rocks. Let's get out of here. It's not a very long drive to the next one, only about 2 miles. This river bottom may be expensive to farm in, but it is very, very efficient and easy. Well, I won't say that it's easy per se. It's good running, and you can get a lot done in a day. Right about now is my favorite time of day to farm. The views are immaculate. Supper for right now is a small bag of Doritos. Cool Ranch flavor, of course. There's no other better flavor. Yay, our power has been derated. The DPF has not been able to regen, so we're saving the environment by derating my power by 20%. Yay, go trees, woohoo! Yay! If Science Stricker can't fix this tomorrow, we may have to go home and get a different tractor to run tillage, because going 7.8 miles an hour does not cut it trying to keep ahead of a planter that can plant like 50 acres an hour. That's Dad right there. He's going to park at that yard over there, and I'm going to take him into his truck once I finish my end rows, which will be pretty shortly. GM streaks. It's like 6:40 right now. I'm pretty sure this is the earliest that I have ever been out of the house to go to work. When you get up early, you magically have more time in the day to go do stuff. And when you stay up late, you have more time in the day to go do stuff. Today we're gonna take the 9510R down and replace the 9460 since it is having problems. We're gonna unhook the disc here. Half an hour later, we are here. This is the man down. Keeps throwing the, it's something to do with the diesel particulate filter on the emissions. Hence why I don't really like emissions, because this stuff happens. And it derated the power to like 80%, and it's not gonna cut it for trying to stay ahead of a planter that can plant 50 acres an hour. I'm not too worked up about not having to use this tractor anymore, because the cab smells like mouse, and it's kind of dirty and dusty. Not sure how I managed this, but I have all the number 1 remotes and all the number 2 remotes backwards. Oh well, I could have done worse. Ahead of us, we have 415 acres to do today. 195 in this field and about 220 in the one across the road. It's gonna go relatively fast considering it's 400 something acres, just because this field's like 3/4 of a mile long and there's like nothing to go around, so yeah. I have some things to do today, so I called my man J-Dog and he's gonna run this for a little while. I've got a yard to mow and I've got some checks to deposit, and I should be back here in about 3 hours. He's got this under control. Gotta keep the sun off my arms and my head. Oh my gosh, is that the baby? So I had J-Dog running my tractor, right? So J-Dog gives me a call. He says, hey, I messed up. I said, oh no. I got the phone call that no employer wants to hear, and that's the I broke something phone call. My guy J-Dog was going along and he says he found a very deep hole, like 4 or 5 foot deep, with the back tire of the tractor right there. As you could imagine, that probably created some bouncing motion within the tractor, so it threw him out of the seat mostly. And he says that his hand went like this, and he absolutely clotheslined the shifter. It's just, look at it, it's just kind of flopping around now. But my solution to this problem here is that I took a 1/16 punch and I put it in where the shifter is. This is actually like a tube kind of, so there's enough room to put this in there, so now I can actually move it around in the quadrant. He also broke the throttle, so that's a minor inconvenience. And now the touchscreen function on the monitor doesn't do anything. The important thing is that everyone is safe and there's no major damage done. It's just minorly inconvenient. This has been my life for the past 3 hours. Yeah, where did the Diamond Harrow go? I know I've said it before, but it's worth repeating that this is a very dusty tillage tool. Now we are actually done. For today, at least. Dad very kindly asked me to bring his water tanker over, and that was fine, except the guy that I had help me hook it up noticed that that inner dual on this side on this truck is flat, and it's off the bead. In this line of work, it's always something. We might have a spare tire at home in the oil shed, but I'm really not sure. 22570R19.5. 22570R19.5. It'll work. Whoa, stop there. If you love something, set it free, and if it almost comes back to you, that means it's yours. Now we're gonna get the impact in the appropriately sized metric socket and get these wheels swapped out. Good morning. I just have to load up some seed for Dad real quick, and then I'm gonna go to church, and then we're gonna go to the field. Fortunately, nothing fell off the back of the truck on our way to town, so let's go to church, and I'm gonna see you guys in an hour. Today is the last day of corn planting. We are finally gonna get it done. So we've got 211 acres of actual corn, and then about 7 acres for the duck ponds. And then tomorrow we get to start on beans. And here we are. Dad's gonna get started planting here, and he's actually sending me on a mission to go find more seed. We're actually about like 12 units short for seed, so we have to scrounge up somehow a couple more bags of seed. Coop and Rod with Suter Seed Service were able to scrounge up a little bit of seed. This seed here will probably be enough to get done planting corn, which is the goal. Dad also sent me on a mission to find Grandpa's tile spade to clean out the tiles where we've thrown dirt in them from working the ground. And the last place to look is this truck. You're gonna find out with me. Is it here? Yes, it is. Yeah. Here's Grandpa right here. We'll hand him his tile spade. The Grandpa's gonna go get to work. When it comes to getting some work done, my grandpa does not waste any time at all. Way down there, that little speck off in the distance is over a mile away, and that's where Dad is. That field is 211 acres, and you can get something done in a day when you're in running like that. The last 70 acres that's in this field is going to be a struggle. Because Dad's section control is not working, or at least it's not working all the time like it should be. I've got 140 acres to do here in this field, and that's going to go pretty quick because I can do like 50 acres an hour with this thing. So back here behind me in the dust, there's someone that had parked their truck in the field to go fish or whatever off the bay, which is this body of water right here. They parked their truck. You're not supposed to park on the little bridge that goes over the bay, which is fine. They didn't park on the bridge, but they parked in the second worst spot, which is in the field. It's like, guys, like, seriously, did you not see the giant green tractor that's like making a lot of dust and obviously going to be going in that spot? Lucky for me, their windows were down. And as we know, this tool is rather dusty, so their truck got filled with dust. And I don't feel bad. Not a single bit. We're doing end rows right now on this 140 acre field. Some people call this thing the weed bruiser, but it does knock down weeds pretty nicely. As their truck was formerly parked in the road, and now, curiously enough, the windows are rolled up. Let's play the where's the edge of my wing game. The dust is very, very real. Our neighbors down here are out spraying today. Dad needs just a little bit of extra seed, which I have on the back of this truck, and then he can finish up. What the dog doing? Great news. The beans that I no-tilled like 2 days ago are already starting to come up. Not get out of the ground up, but they're starting to emerge. Mimi's Coffee House type beat. I'm gonna get back in this rig and work some more ground. I talked to my dad a little while ago on the phone, and he said that we are done planting corn. Like, now we're gonna plant beans. Like, tomorrow we're starting planting beans. Thanks for sticking with me through this wild ride of a video. There were some ups and some downs. Definitely a lot of downs because the damage to that thing, not only does the shifter, is it flopping around, but it's going to be like $1,100 to replace it. And the screen now doesn't work because it got damaged in the kerfuffle, and that's going to take some money to fix, and I'm responsible for it, so I'm probably going to be paying for some of the damages. Thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate everyone watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I guarantee you're going to miss something fun. I think with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.